Miami Super Bowl 54 Chiefs and 49ers set to get it on, and we are set to give you one more edition of Super Bowl Today presented by Lexus. Well, hopefully you got yourself at least a C note if you want one of them umbrellas. Nice tile service. Beautiful Art Deco architecture in this fine city of South Florida, Miami.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. It is the Sean O'Hara special. That is a heck of a boat party right there. Cannonball.
Why would you jump off of that boat? People are trying to get on that boat.
Did you see who jumped off ahead of him?
No.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just got to, exactly. You gotta,
chasing the shark.
Sometimes you got to. Speaking of chasing it, Sean O'Hara, Super Bowl champion. I can, when I travel, for people that may not know, I call games for the Chargers. When we do primetime games, you always hear from the players, they're like, I just want to play, man. I'm sick of sitting around the hotel. Yeah. I want to play. You're used to a schedule. What is Friday like when you've been here all week and you're still 2 days away from a Super Bowl game?
Yeah, Friday, I was never nervous. I was excited. You're anxious to get the game going. And like you said, when you play a night game, a Sunday night game, a Monday night game, or Thursday night game, you spend all day in the hotel. You're laying around. You can't wait to get to it. So it's certainly a big buildup. But Friday's exciting because usually all the families have come into town. Thursday they get in, you kind of get to see them. And Friday, it really, the moment starts to kind of grab you because you're experiencing with, your parents are in town, your wife, your girlfriend, hopefully not both, but they're all there and they're going to share the experience with
different
you.
Hotels.
And you kind of realize, like, man, this is really happening not just to you, but to all of the people that care about you, all the people that helped you get there. So it kind of puts everything into perspective.
A lot of times you'll hear the term young and dumb, that you're just too young to recognize the gravity, the importance of the situation. As
young and raw is kind of how we would say it.
Young and raw?
Yeah,
you didn't like young and dumb. Just dumb to the situation, not ignorant.
Just, not ignorant, just innocent.
How about Patrick Mahomes, who's practicing, but you think about 24 years and 138 days old on Super Bowl Sunday. If he gets that Super Bowl win, he would become the youngest player to win both an NFL MVP, which he did last season, and a Super Bowl championship. When he was engaging with the media Thursday, he said that he's doing a pretty good job of not letting his nerves get the best of him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of nerves whenever you're playing any game. But for me, I'm enjoying it. The best thing about this team is that we have fun, no matter what the stage is, no matter where we're playing. And I think having that mentality is let us play loose, let us go out there and just be who we are. And I'm just going to treat it like any other game week and get there and try to just go out there and have fun.
Well, you certainly wouldn't know his lack of experience based on what he has done thus far in his young career. In the playoffs, he has had a heck of a run. Obviously, probably the biggest thing isn't statistical, but it's that he overcame a 24-0 deficit at home in the first playoff game to score 28 in the second quarter. It's
remarkable that he was able to do that. And when you look at the Chiefs, that slow start, obviously you say, all right, is he going to force some throws now? Is he going to get in trouble? So many times you see a quarterback that's trying to all of a sudden will their team back into the game and they make some bad throws. So I think Patrick Mahomes, the fact that he has yet to throw an interception in the postseason in his entire career is remarkable. And, I mean, when you think about how many plays he's made like that and like this little run right here where he kind of jukes the linebacker and then tight ropes down the sideline, those type of plays, those are things you can't coach. You could draw up a play and perfect X's and O, but all these ad-lib plays right here are what have made Patrick Mahomes so tough to defend, so exceptional, and yet he has not been reckless at all with the football during all those. So it's been fun to watch him. I think in this Super Bowl, I'll be really curious to see how Andy Reid starts the game with him. Does he try to let him uncork one deep to start the gates? Just kind of, as a player, you always talk about that first hit, get that first lick in, and then you're ready to play the game. Will he let Mahomes just uncork one early on just to kind of loosen up the body and get all that anxiety out?
You hear the Brett Favre comparison a lot, and it just seems like, all of those guys that worked in Green Bay when Favre was there, and Andy Reid, of course, was one of them, have been chasing that ghost and trying to find that next guy, and it certainly feels like he's finally got him, that this is the closest thing we've ever seen to Brett and what he's able to do, and when you think you got him, just like we saw in the second quarter, at times it's something you can't stop.
Yeah, Brett Favre it seemed like week in and week out, he would find a new way to wow you. And that's been Patrick Mahomes. How many times have you watched the Chiefs game and say, how did he do that? I mean, what was that? How did he make that throw? Like that one right there. We talked for weeks about the no-look pass. All of these plays right here are him playing above the X's and O's and moving out of the pocket. And this is going to be the key. We've talked a lot this week about the 49ers pass rush, and they're going to get home at some point. They're going to flush him out of the pocket, and he has been so deadly when he gets outside the pocket at either, shallow receiver going deep or deep receiver coming underneath, and he somehow, some way, he finds them. He's like Neo from The Matrix. Everything's just
right.
slowing down for him, and it's it's fun to watch.
Playing a different game almost. I'll add this, and you can respond to it if you choose. But the one thing that always seemed to jump out to me, and now having called 4 games with him against the Chargers, the off schedule doesn't matter. It almost seems like he plays better. He converted a 3rd and 24 against the Chargers in Week 17.
Yeah.
And going into that
happens.
snap, you're like, I feel completely confident that he's going to end up moving the sticks. It is uncanny, like any other player I've ever seen. When he's off schedule, it just doesn't matter.
I think the impact that has on the other players, too,
Right.
is if you're a receiver or you're a tight end or a lineman, don't ever stop blocking because you never know. Mahomes is going to keep the play alive, and as a receiver, stay alive and stay on the move because he will find you. Right. And he showed it against the Titans, too, on that big touchdown throw when the corner fell down. Sure enough, he sees everything.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes the best front four doesn't matter. He just has a way of extending and making big things happen when he's not supposed to. All right, Super Bowl today presented by Lexus. Here's the guest you're going to hear from, Drew Brees. Certainly some questions about his future. Arguably the best receiver in the game, DeAndre Hopkins, Jarvis Landry, and potential, one of these two, likely to be the #1 overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft.
Does Joe Burrow have a cigar in his hand during that interview?
Right. Does he have a cigar, and does he have a one clip on his sides there going up to that beautiful head of hair of his? Tua Tagovailoa as well. You will hear from. And hey, look at the bottom. Martha Stewart going to, not I just mean like, just like, hey, what a surprise, it's Martha Stewart. But
she's got no logo. We don't have a logo for Martha?
Martha, she doesn't need a logo. You could just put one name up there. You could put Martha, and you know who is going to be. But how about Russell Wilson right now joining the Tomahawk Show to some degree? It is Joe Thomas and Andrew Hawkins.
Joe Thomas, Andrew Hawkins, and we got joining us now the best quarterback in NFL history. Yeah, I said it. Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. Russ, welcome, man.
What's up, squad? How you guys doing?
We're good, man. So you're here with Bose. Tell us about what you got.
Oh yeah, I got my Bose 700 headphones, the noise canceling. The 700s are awesome for me because obviously I love music, Joe, as you know. I love rocking music. Hawk, as you know, I saw you in the little funny
keep the Bose.
Yeah, entering the stadium scene. But for me, ignoring the noise, especially throughout the season. You go through so many highs, some lows, and everything else. And just to be able to focus, I'm a big person. I'm constantly singing music on the field. So that's kind of my secret little sauce.
I love that.
I can't sing, but I like to believe that I can.
Yeah, so I gotta say thank you for dropping off new pairs of those Bose for all of us here on set. That was really kind of you. It's going to be great going home on the airplane. But you saw Mr. Hawk's awesome video, went viral about guys showing up to the stadium, and we had pre-Sierra Russell Wilson. Yes. Not a lot of game. After Sierra Russell Wilson looking pretty good. So who wore it better? Was it you or was it Hawk when he had that sweet wig on? Right here. I think you can see it. Look at this.
Well, first of all,
that outfit's amazing.
His pre-C was right on the money. The cargo pants and all. And then the silk champagne jacket I loved. I think Hawkman rocked it just as good, if not better.
You know what? It's a level up.
He did look pretty good, but everyone always wants to know, like, Russ before Sierra, kind of a nerd. After Sierra, he's so sweet. That's what Hawk was telling me, at least.
No, that's bull.
So it's a chicken and the egg question. Did you get cool, then you found Sierra, or was it Sierra made Russell Wilson cool?
I started getting cooler along the way.
So it was a little bit of both.
Like, listen, this is what I realized. I'll break it down for you. This is what I realized. I realized that when I was single, right? Every great jump shooter, every great basketball player, they gotta have the 3-point game.
Yeah,
they gotta have the layup lane, right? So the
3-point
lane is the suit and the tie and all that. You can do that. All of us, we can do the layup line. We can have the shorts and the shirt, the Nike shoes.
Yep.
But the mid-range game is the key.
Oh,
so
I like it. That is a great
I had to step up my
analogy.
mid-range.
I need to write that down.
Write that down. Mid-range game.
Mid-range game is important.
So here's the thing: when he was in chase mode with Sierra, he had to get cool to get that anyway. So he actually
said I was chasing. I didn't say I was chasing.
Chase.
Hey, when you're
Breaking
Russell Wilson,
news.
Sierra comes to you.
I like
makes
that
sense.
either,
I like
man.
that.
Don't get anybody in trouble either. All right, Joe. All right, so let's switch gears to football, man. Obviously, I've said this since the beginning. You've been my favorite quarterback. Everyone always asks me, what quarterback would you like to play with? I'm like, Russell Wilson. I think you are the top quarterback in the NFL, obviously in a tight MVP race with Lamar Jackson. What have you seen in his game that has surprised you, or what stands out to you which makes him so special?
Well, I think, his clutch gene, I think at the end of the day, to be great, you got to have a clutch gene. I think he has it. When the game's on the line, he wants to find a way to make the play, whether it's throwing or running, and he's got it all. We got to exchange jerseys at the Pro Bowl, so that was
amazing.
That was one of my highlights of the Pro Bowl.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Just switching jerseys.
I'm sure that was a highlight
with,
for him,
with the young
too.
bull, and just it was pretty cool. So, he's spectacular, and he's been able to do a lot of things, and he's going to be a great player along the way.
So a lot of people talk about you being one of those first quarterbacks that could really extend the play outside the pocket, make people pay with your legs, but also keeping your eyes down the field. That's the new generation of quarterback coming in. You see guys like Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. Is there anybody else besides those two guys that you really like watching, and you might even be able to take a few things for your own game from?
Well, I think there's a few guys that came before me. Obviously, guys like Michael Vick. I think Steve Young was one of those guys. I remember I used to rock Steve Young's jersey when I was a young kid just growing up.
Yep.
The plays that he used to make, Donovan McNabbs of the world. I think there's a lot more guys who can make plays on the move now than there used to be. And I think, Patrick Mahomes is one of those guys. He's a playmaker.
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, you want to be a baller on the field. Guys want to play with ballers. They want to play with guys who can make some plays. And Patrick Mahomes is one of those guys. He's a great example. I think the thing that you could take from him is just, his ability to get outside and just, find guys from all different arm angles. He does that pretty well.
Yeah, so, you talked about Patrick Mahomes. We got Super Bowl 54 coming up. Mahomes is in that, battling Jimmy Garoppolo. What is your pick for the Super Bowl, and who do you think is going to be Super Bowl MVP?
That's tough because I had the fortunate and unfortunate situation of playing the 49ers. The defensive line is they know how to get after the quarterback. They really do. They're really special. And that right there helps control the game, in a lot of different ways. We were able to play really well against them, and battle, have some great games. Some epic matchups. I think it always comes down to, the quarterback position, especially in the championship games like this. And I think Patrick Mahomes is really, Garoppolo has been playing great all year. And I think he's a great player, quarterback, and has done some great things this year. But, Mahomes is special. He's one of a kind. So I'm going to lean more on that side. But once again, you can't bet against Sherm. He always finds a way.
Is it weird seeing Sherm in a 49ers uniform?
Yeah, I hate it. I still wish he was wearing the blue. I still wish he was wearing the blue and green. But he's done it the right. He's been great for the 49ers. He's brought a lot of passion and joy to that team and all the things they've been able to do.
So big announcement on social media. You and Sierra having a child. Congratulations.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Are you guys going to find out the gender?
We are going to find out the gender at some point.
So when you get that opportunity, are you going to have a gender reveal party?
I don't know. We haven't really gotten that far.
Because that's like a big thing. It's like you got to cut into the cupcake.
We'll have a gender reveal moment probably. I don't know.
Can I be invited?
Well, we know we'll be invited, but we're wondering what other A-listers besides the two of us from Tomahawk
Just
Show.
you guys.
Just us. All right. Hosted.
VIPs only.
Love it. Be ready for the Russell Wilson Sierra gender reveal hosted by the Tomahawk Show. Russ, we appreciate you joining us here on set at Radio Row, man.
That's a pleasure, Joe. Good seeing you, Hawk.
Good to see you,
Appreciate you, brother.
My guy.
Yeah, grateful, man.
Well, let's just, we can't do it, but let's take Lamar Jackson out of the conversation. We know he's going to win the MVP, perhaps, unanimous for the most part.
It feels that way.
Yeah. And it's already, to some degree, been, revealed based on the All-Pro voting. But if he weren't playing this season, make the case for Russell Wilson why he would be your MVP.
Yeah, I think when you look at Lamar Jackson, we knew he was going to be a threat to run the football, but the passing touchdowns from Lamar Jackson were phenomenal. But when you go back and look at what Russell Wilson did this year, you've seen throws like that to a rookie and DK Metcalf. You look at the supporting cast that Russell had around him, and you could say Russell Wilson did more with less. We've said that about Tom Brady in the past, and he's won MVPs. But all these guys, look at all these different receivers he's throwing to. Not one Pro Bowl receiver. You look at his offensive line, the injuries he had. Ethan Postick goes down. He's on IR. Justin Britt, his starting center, goes down with an ACL injury. Mike Iupati missed a bunch of games. Dwayne Brown, his left tackle, missed games. There's only one offensive lineman that played in all 16 games. That's Jermaine Ifedi. So you look at what was going on around him, constant change, constant variables. They signed a tight end on a Wednesday, and he played on Sunday. So, You know, they were rolling through tight ends, you know, faster than Joe Thomas rolls through hooded sweatshirts. And I think when you look at what Russell Wilson
hooded
did
sweatshirts
this season, willing his team. How many times did Russell Wilson put his team on the back with the fourth quarter on the line and come back and win a game? He did it 4 times this year. Only
I was
one
just
other
going to say
quarterback.
yes.
Yes, every week,
Yes.
it felt like.
That's
So the case for Russell Wilson, MVP, is that he did more with less. And when you look at what he had to do offensively, they had a rotation at running back too. Right. It's remarkable that they were in the playoffs. And it's remarkable how many times he willed that team to victory at the very end of the game.
I mean, his number 1 receiver was a rookie, you know, and a guy that some people thought was you know, just kind of like a one-trick pony. Just, hey, go and you're running 9 routes and that's it, and he'll throw it up. But he helped turn DK Metcalf into a legitimate full-service receiver. You play in a division with the defending NFC champion Rams, who, even though they didn't make the playoffs, they were still a tough out every single week. And the 49ers. You get victories against each of those teams.
Yeah.
I mean, when you kind of put it all in, 1,000 more passing yards than Lamar Jackson, I think you can still actually make a case after what you just detailed, you know, the losses that he was dealt over the course of a season, that he could be the MVP.
Inches, right? Like that final game against the 49ers. Right. I mean, if that a couple inches away, totally different game. They beat the 49ers down in San Francisco earlier in that season.
They get a bye.
You know, so they very well could be in this game too.
Well, we will go from one of the greats to another one of the greats. Many people suggest that DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in all the land. He will join Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus, next. Back on Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus, recently renovated, and boy, did they do a great job with Hard Rock Stadium down in Miami. We're just 2 days from Super Bowl 54. Let's get back out to that Tomahawk duo as they are now sitting with DeAndre Hopkins.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How about y'all, man?
We're doing fantastic. Now, you're here with Carl's Jr. and Hardee's because you're going to talk about the Beyond Beef Burger.
Oh man, so it's a Beyond Meat burger. Carl's Jr. and Hardee's actually are doing something, man. That's amazing. They're partnering with Beyond Meat, which is the first of many fast food chains that are offering that alternative of a beef burger.
Love it.
And starting Monday, actually, with the purchase of a large drink using the phrase, I guess, Beyond instead of word, but using the phrase Beyond the Game. You'll get a free Beyond Meat burger or breakfast item or whatever, and it's all day. So it's pretty cool, man.
So Hawk's the smartest person that I know, but you might be the second smartest person that I know because you were actually an early investor in Beyond Meats.
Correct.
So how did that come about? Because us as players, we invest in silly things like I invest in Mission Barbecue Restaurant and bars and things that they always tell you not to invest in. But they've been doing pretty good so far. But you must be doing a really good job. How did you get involved with Beyond Meats?
So actually I got involved with Beyond Meat being in California. I was training a couple years ago, and one of my friends ordered it for a week every day, and I didn't know what I was eating till the last day. And he was like, you've been eating, basically like protein, pea protein. I was like, for real, it tastes just like meat. And so I kind of dove into it a little bit further and, did my research and had some friends out there that actually work for Beyond Meat. And they introduced me to the owner, and the rest is history.
So you're originally from South Carolina?
Originally from South Carolina.
You play in Texas?
Play in Houston, yep.
My question, who has better barbecue, South Carolina or Texas?
South Carolina, easy.
Ooh, that was
easy,
you didn't
man.
even
Easy.
hesitate.
I get that question all the time.
Yeah, Houston.
Yeah, man. South Carolina.
So shout out to South Carolina's barbecue. Okay, so back to the season. In that last game versus the Chiefs, it was reported that you played with a broken rib throughout the second half. Is that right?
Correct.
So at what point do you remember when it happened?
I do remember when it happened. It was towards the end of the half. We were down. I think they finally got the lead on us, and we were trying to take some shots. And I had a deep ball, maybe 40 yards. And I think I landed on the guy's knee. But once I got up, man, you guys play football. You know something's wrong. As soon as I got up, I felt it, and I was like, should I go out? But then I was like, it's a minute or something for the half. I can go ahead and stay. So
I mean, you say it so nonchalantly, but what was the hardest part about trying to play through a broken rib in the playoffs?
And it was breathing.
Wow.
Breathing.
I'm not smoking, son. I'm breathing.
And the weather, the temperature was like 30, 40 degrees. So, it's pretty hard, man. Breathing was the hardest thing for me.
Is that the worst injury you had to play through?
For sure, the worst injury I had to play through. Went in the locker room, doctors do what they do.
Right. All right, so DBs in the NFL talk a lot of trash, and you're one of the guys that they always point to as being one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the game. Which DB did you face talks the most trash when you guys line up against each other?
The DB that I face that talks the most trash. Not a lot of them talk trash anymore, but I'm going to go Jalen Ramsey. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because him and I, we're friends out the field, so the competitive trash talk, we know it's not going to lead to anything outside of football. So it's just, us out there having fun, talking trash to each other.
DeAndre, thanks for joining us, man.
All right, let's go from the food to the beverage as it is time for Premium Performances presented by St. Archer Gold. The question there you go, well done.
How's that release?
Pull it from the quiver.
You got to keep the knock.
And then kind of get it out.
What was that, a crossbow?
No, I was pulling it out from the quiver.
Oh, gotcha.
And then, I got the papers on my hand, so it'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
I got the archery merit badge when I was in Boy Scouts
Good for
before I
you.
got kicked out.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, I sent Sean
right
Rashke's
after
tent on fire.
basket weaving? You probably got that one too, right?
Did not get basket weaving, but
I'm disappointed in you.
yeah, I could have got. Anyway, here we go. Tight ends. Arguably the two best tight ends in the league. Travis Kelce, George Kittle. Pick your style. Which one do you think has the bigger impact in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, two great tight ends who are going to have all kinds of flex moves and pro wrestling kind of demonstrations during this game. I think when you look at what Travis Kelce brings to this Kansas City Chiefs offense, he's almost unguardable. And I think that he's going to have a huge impact in this game. You go back and look at when the Chiefs played the 49ers last season in Week 3. He had a monster game. He had 8 catches for 114 yards against this 49ers zone defense. And I just thought he and Mahomes were on the same page with every single throw. He knew exactly when to sit down in the zone. He knew when to run through man coverage. And you're seeing all these big plays right here. Travis Kelce, after the catch, he is a weapon. So I think Travis Kelce, he's basically a receiver. I know they list him at tight end, but he runs routes like a receiver. He creates separation like a receiver, and he does it all with speed. I think he's got some pretty cool touchdown celebrations too. So he's going to be a big factor in this game. I'm really curious to see if the 49ers end up playing more man coverage and doubling him to try to take him out of the game and say, you know what? We're gonna make you beat us with somebody else.
Ask old Romeo Crennel how that went when they went man
Yeah.
against the Chiefs.
Well, Patrick Mahomes has forced 2 defensive coordinators to retire.
Exactly.
2 weeks in a row.
And that kind of gets me to George Kittle, which is very similar. Travis Kelce forces the 49ers to make a decision. Are you going to play man? Are you going to commit Fred Warner, Richard Sherman, Jimmy Ward? What you've got to figure out how to crack that code. And with George Kittle, it's a little different, right? Because he is their best receiver, bar none. He's better than Debo. He's better than Emmanuel Sanders. He is the toughest to tackle, arguably one of the toughest to tackle. I'd say, he's the toughest to tackle receiver, pass catcher in the NFL. And then you mix in what Kyle Shanahan does with him in the run game. All of the pre-snap motion. And when you talk to defensive coordinators and they watch tape of the 49ers or the Chiefs, they'll tell you just the mental tax that it puts on their team. And Kittle's the number one guy they'll set in motion because whatever Shanahan sees or whatever Garoppolo sees based on what he's doing and who follows him and where they set, they've got multiple, and typically it's those run options that come out of what the defense does and how they react to Kittle. And then the trick, Sean, and you can probably explain it better than I can, when they decide, he's not blocking, by the way. He's just going to run one of these quick little routes, and what he can do after the catch makes him such a dynamic player and a serious X factor in this game.
He's a perfect complement to Kyle Shanahan's offense because Kyle Shanahan loves all that zone blocking scheme, which you need a tight end that can block at the point of attack. You also need a tight end that can come back against the grain and block on the backside. And then all of that sets up the play-action pass. Now he's done that a few times. Here's Kittle coming back to block on the move, and then he fakes the block and then sneaks out for a big game. So Kittle's going to have a big factor in this game. His stat line may look totally different than Kelce's, but he is definitely going to have a big impact.
Yeah, I mean, they keep, if you've been watching a lot of previews, you've seen that same play where he goes in motion and you think it's going to be an outside zone, and then he just fakes a cut. Juszczyk does the same thing on the other side, and it springs Mostert for an 8-9 yard run. And it's those little things.
All you have to do, if you want to know how the game's going for the 49ers, watch George Kittle after every run play. And if he's doing this, if he's doing the Ultimate Warrior, if he's rocking and rolling, pumping the fist, he's having a good game.
I have a feeling both of them, as you said,
going to have solo
good
cams
games,
on
right?
him.
They should do isolation cams on each of the tight ends. That was Premium Performances presented by St. Archer Gold, the ultimate light beer with 95 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. Beautiful Miami, glorious architecture, and a Chamber of Commerce day. When we return, you'll hear from Browns wide receiver Jarvis Landry. Super Bowl today presented by Lexus in Miami. We are 2 days away from Super Bowl 54, and one of these two teams is going to have a heck of a final chapter to their story, either the Chiefs winning their first Super Bowl in 50 years or the 49ers going from Mobile to Miami as Super Bowl champs, having the number 2 overall pick in the draft to Super Bowl champions the following season. Let's get to that Tomahawk show as they sit with Jarvis Landry.
We have here 2 of the greatest Browns of all time, not myself.
Obviously.
But we also have the greatest Browns receiver in NFL history, Jarvis Landry, joining us. Jarvis,
thank you,
thanks
guys.
for being here, man.
Thank you, guys.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, I'm honored to be sitting in you guys' presence. You guys paved the way for guys like me, man.
You know what? Teach it, Jarvis, because I try to tell everyone. I'm like, I taught Jarvis everything he knows.
He did.
You
I've
know?
heard that one before. Well, Jarvis, he's going to be here today with us, thankfully, based on your affiliation with Old Spice.
Yep.
The new Old Spice Ultra Smooth line. I've been accused of being a guy that stinks every now and then. So
Yes.
Can you please help me out here? South
Yeah.
Beach, it gets a little sweaty. Got some cool parties. I want to smell good tonight.
Yeah, no, man. I'm just here, you know, helping promote this, man, and this Ultra Smooth line. You know, it's a smooth fragrance, a subtle fragrance. You know, there's something new that they're trying, and it's out now.
Yeah, I love it. So Joe has been described as the opposite of ultra smooth, but we will get past that. We're going to go to the season a little bit. We had high expectations for this Cleveland Browns team, for you, a leader on that team, and honestly, the leader in my book. At what point did you realize, like, this isn't quite going the way we expected?
Man, toward the back end of the season, you know, when we got to games that we know we should have won and needed, you know, the Arizona game, the second Steelers game.
Yeah.
You know, the games that, you know we were supposed to win, the Denver game. You know, those games were tough, and, you know, and it was at that point, it's like, you know, okay, you know, with all the talent, with all that we have, how can't we not be successful?
Right.
So we're obviously huge Browns fans, being former players, being friends with a lot of guys that are still in that locker room. For those Browns fans at home, give us some hope about the way things ended after the season and some of the moves that were made postseason for next year for Browns fans.
Yeah, well, I've heard great things about, you know, our head coach now. You know, I hear we got an offensive coordinator now. And I'm excited. You know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about getting healthy. You know, I know, he's gotten healthy. He's getting healthy. You know, getting everybody back healthy and in shape and, you know, ready to go again. I think that's going to be the biggest thing.
Yep. So do me a favor, finish this sentence. As a leader on this team, Coach Kevin Stefanski will be successful if he does
fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank, yes.
I mean, just does what he do. You know, I'm not a coach. You know, I'm a player. You know, I'll play the game.
Answer. Jeez, Jarvis. Like you've been trained to do this.
I don't like this guy anymore.
I got to get rid of him.
No, but, you know, from our talks that we've had through text, through, you know, phone calls when he first got the job, and, you know, one thing that I love about him, he said, you know, let's just work. You know, I don't really have any expectations. I can't really, you know, look back at the past. You know, I can look back at the past and evaluate it, but, you know, I want to move forward. And the only way to do that is to work, and I love that.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's looking forward. Looking back, now, Joe is a legend in the NFL because he's gotten the most coaches fired of any player that we've ever seen.
9 different offensive coordinators
Yes,
fired.
he is a walking unemployment line. For you, what was it like when Freddie Kitchens and John Dorsey got let go, and were you surprised by it?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, I again, like, you know, I've developed relationships, you know, with both guys, you know, and going through a season, especially as hard as this one was for a lot of people, you know, it's tough, you know, because I know that everybody investment was really there. Everybody was there to win, whether it was coaching or bringing guys in, you know, it was there to be, you know, for the best of the organization and for the players in the locker room. And sad to see them leave. And, you know, they will always forever be, you know, more than a GM or more than a coach to me. They're friends.
Both of us played for Kyle Shanahan. Drink your Pepsi or your Coke, whatever you're drinking. And Kyle Shanahan, we thought, had the best offense that we ever played in, right? Kevin Stefanski kind of comes from that tree working with Gary Kubiak. Tell us, what do you know about this offense that Kevin Stefanski and new offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt are going to be bringing to Cleveland next year?
Well, I mean, I know for the most part, you know, guys like Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook, you know, they're managed to coexist in that entire system, you know, and, you know, we have a similar cast of guys, you know, so it's going to be exciting to see how he brings it together, obviously in our own unique way. So,
have you had a chance to reach out to any of those guys in the Vikings that have played for Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah.
What did they say? Spill the news right here.
It's been all great talks. All great talks, man, about how, you know, how he is and the type of person he is and what he's looking for.
All right, so here we are in Miami. You come from here. You were drafted by the Dolphins.
He's
you
almost
still
Mr. Miami.
You
were
reside
telling me
here.
Last night you're Mr. Miami when
No.
you took me on
I
your
said
big
I
yacht.
was the vice president of Miami
All right,
because
vice president and the president.
was the
Well,
president. How great is
the
this
court jester.
atmosphere that Super Bowl 54 is here in South Beach?
Man,
for you?
it's amazing. You know, it's amazing. It's special to, you know, that it's here too, you know, and just the culture here, you know, everything that's going on this weekend, you know, the NFL, everybody does a great job of, obviously it's the Super Bowl, you know, and it's important and it's special. The only bad part about it is we're not playing in it.
Prediction, who wins the Super Bowl?
Kansas City.
Who's the
Kansas
MVP?
City.
I mean, well, you can't win a Super Bowl without your quarterback
It goes to the
playing
quarterback.
well.
We all know.
Yeah,
but
your quarterback has
Kansas
to play
City's
well.
There's been a lot of receivers, a lot of kick returners. You make a big play.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, but I, even that one, I think, you know, Tom might have just been like, here you go, hey, you can have it. You can have it.
Give it to
I got
somebody
8 already.
Jarvis, well, thank you so much for joining us, man. It was a true pleasure.
Jarvis alluding to it there when it comes to the quarterbacks. Let's go in the hunt, presented by Hunters on Amazon Prime Video. And
Got your bow? You still got your bow?
I do.
Yeah, good.
I
Okay,
do.
bring it
Yeah.
out.
It's well, I got my quiver, I got my bow down here.
Your St. Archer bow. Bring that out.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
to go
still
hunting.
maybe a little bit later. Go hunt. You know who hunts? How about this transition?
Yeah.
Safeties. Corners,
Yeah.
hunting that football, trying to get those turnovers. Richard Sherman has picked in the playoffs, and of course Tyrann Mathieu, always known as a ball hawk, and just someone who seems to be in the middle of every play, a difference maker. Between those two, which do you think has a better chance of having the biggest impact in the game?
Yeah, if you want to be a good hunter, you've got to be able to cover a lot of ground. And nobody covers more ground than the honey badger, Tyrann Mathieu. So when you look at him on film, he is all over the field, Money. Here he is in the slot right here. This is against the Tennessee Titans. He saw this play earlier in the year against the Patriots. Watch him blow this play up right here, all right? Physical presence right there, all right? Like a predator, hunting. All right, how about this? He's going to hunt Derrick Henry. Watch the pre-snap read as he reads the tight end right there. He knows it's run. Knifes in before the wide receiver can block him. Hunts down King Henry. All right, now here he is out in space, all right? It looks like he's playing cover 2, disguises the coverage. Look at him accelerate and close on this receiver right here to deliver another big hit. Here's the ground I'm talking about. You want to line him up at the linebacker level? Look, the honey badger don't care where you line him up. He's going to make a play. Jams the underneath receiver. Takes away the second receiver. And then look at him come up and deliver another blow on this shallow cross. Tyrann Mathieu has been all over the field. And I say the honey badger. You see him right there. That's his nickname. He's got a new nickname, too, now. People call him the landlord, all right, because he owns real estate all over the field. And I think on Super Bowl Sunday, the rent will be due.
Well done. I think back to a tape that you did yesterday called Libero, but you did it on Jimmy G and his eyes and how he's locking on receivers and how he
staring them down a little bit,
loses track of defenders. And again, I know it probably gets tiring, but I keep bringing it up because I was there and I saw it. Look, Phillip Rivers threw a lot of interceptions this year, but rarely does Phillip Rivers miss a guy out in the field. And this season, one of the most memorable interceptions I saw him throw, and there were a lot of them, was in Mexico City on that Monday nighter when you see Tyrann Mathieu up high and Phillip is as good as diagnosing defenses as anyone in the league. And without knowing, he snuck down into the middle of the field, into that where he thought was the soft portion of the zone, and bang, just picked him off. Phillip never saw him. Said that after the game, never saw him coming. And that's where Jimmy G gets in trouble, right? When he's locked in and he doesn't see that linebacker, that safety that sneaks in to that spot.
Yeah, a lot of Jimmy G's interceptions we were talking yesterday about it came from those underneath defenders falling off in coverage and not seeing it. I think Tyrann Mathieu has become such a student of the game. He's become so smart at identifying formations, different personnels, and what the tendencies are. But it's his closing speed and his acceleration, his ability to cover so much ground that enables him to make those plays. So there's absolutely going to be a lot of pre-snap gamesmanship. You're going to see Tyrann Mathieu deep, and right at the snap, he's going to scream up to the line of scrimmage and run support. And then you're going to see him line up at the linebacker level, and then right at the snap, fly out of there in coverage. So there will be a big game within the game between him and Jimmy G.
Did you call him the landlord or the land baron?
Landlord.
Landlord, and the rent is going to be due.
That's right.
Well done.
Yeah.
Very.
Don't let the shirt
very
fool
ominous.
He's right on top of
I
everything
am, aren't
right
I?
now.
Very ominous.
He's not on vacation yet.
Speaking of ominous, here is a sneak peek at Hunters, streaming on Amazon Prime Video February 21st.
They are among us, and they have plans. So the time to act is now.
You put together a group of Nazi hunters. How did Nazi get into the States?
I must send a message.
I want to know who you are!
Welcome to the hunt.
They're coming to America.
Back here on Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus. Could not be more excited about the scouting combine. We have got a heck of a draft class this season, as many as 5 first-round quarterbacks. And guess what? It is moved to prime time. Pay attention right there, February 27th to March 1st, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. They get started with those quarterbacks, including what many believe is a lock for the #1 overall pick, Joe Burrow, who joins our Patrick Claybon right now.
Joe, looking back, man, going back a year, you made a commitment to be better. You and the offense had the best season ever. You win the national championship. Is this your break? Have you had time to kind of soak it all in?
You know, not really. You know, I was back at home for about a week, and I was focused on relaxing, eating good food, and gaining all the weight back that I lost during the year. So this has been, you know, being in Miami has been awesome, and, you know, I'm excited to watch the game.
Joe, you look back at draft season now coming up next. What did you do, man? Because you had a really good second to last season there at LSU, and then you and the offense turned the world on its head. Did you guys do ninja training? What was it?
You know, so I had transferred there the June prior to 2018, so I didn't get all the time that, you know, you usually get with your guys to get that timing and get that trust. And so we got it about, you know, 3/4 of the way through 2018, and then I had, you know, all of spring ball, all of the off season with my guys, and, you know, was able to work with them the way I wanted to and talk about the routes the way I wanted to. And so we were on the same page the entire year, and that's really what it came from.
And so, Joe, you go through last year. I'm sure you got NFL advisory notices about your draft status, and that's all changed significantly to where now you could kind of dictate how that process goes for you. How are you going to go about that process in terms of the combine and pro days?
Yeah, so those will be decisions to be made. You know, I'm not really sure yet. I haven't talked about it with my team yet. I was, you know, busy celebrating this thing called a national championship. So we were having a lot of fun doing that, and then we came down here and are going to have some more fun here in Miami, and then those decisions will be made next month.
Some of those celebrations, I'm sure, including Coach O, you guys get out and relive the crawfish moments, some of those fun times without the pressure of playing football games?
Yeah, you know, it's been awesome. You know, the story of our team has kind of been perseverance. You know, Coach O got fired, I transferred. We have a lot of guys that were underlooked that, you know, came together and became really good players and are going to be really good NFL players. So we kind of took that mentality to heart.
And so, Joe, you've got an opportunity here to take everything to the next level. What's the thing that you want to work on, whether it's Cincinnati or whoever winds up taking you, that you're going to end up bringing to the next level?
You know, there's so many things to work on when you're going to the next level. I think, you know, I'm going to know better, you know, after OTAs and rookie minicamp and that kind of stuff, and really get with, you know, whatever coaches are coaching me to start working on that stuff. And, you know, it's just the entire package that I have to work on going to the next level.
And one of the first things that you can do at the next level now is some sponsorship stuff. Tell us what you're doing with Bolt 24 down there in Miami this week.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to be partnering with Gatorade, and you know they're an elite brand that wanted me to be a partner, and I'm super excited. Bolt 24 is the off-the-field drink and Gatorade is the on-the-field drink that you use to hydrate, and Bolt 24 has got antioxidants, electrolytes, sea salt, all that good stuff.
Hydration's important. Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow, presumptive #1 overall pick. Thanks for joining us on Super Bowl Live.
Thanks, guys. Yep, thank you.
Well, some will say it was the SEC made Joe Burrow such a fine quarterback. And speaking of the SEC, how about Tua Tagovailoa? Had he not had that hip injury, certainly would be in the conversation as the #1 overall pick. And he still might be in the conversation as the #1 overall pick. Let's get to Tua, who's with our Colleen Wolfe and Mike Robb.
One of the top quarterback prospects in the league, Alabama's finest, Tua Tagovailoa. How'd I do?
She did good.
Really? All right, that's awesome.
I'm not going to try, so it's all good.
Everybody's going to be hearing it all over the place, so soon enough you will all know how to say it. 2 months removed from hip surgery. How are you feeling right now?
I feel really good. You know, we're on pace to make a full recovery, so I think that's really good. You know, but we really can't tell until the CT scan and the MRI, you know, at the 3-month mark. So at this point, I'm feeling really good.
Take us back when the injury happened, man. Like, I remember seeing it, you know, on television. And I'm like, no, you know what I mean? And you just can see the pain. What was going through your head? Did you think, is this thing over? Like, what was going through your head during that time?
Yeah, well, I think my body went into shock, you know. I couldn't really comprehend things, you know, at that given point. I mean, you know, went in, you know, the doctors kind of did, you know, the scan and whatnot. Yeah. They were able to, you know, put my hip back in the socket. You know, but I think the time I really got to let everything sink in was when I was in Birmingham, you know, in the hospital. I mean, it was shocking, you know, it was heartbreaking that, you know, I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish out the season with my teammates. You know, but at the same time, you know, things like this happen. I mean, it's football, you know. I mean, it could have happened the third play of the game, the second play of the game. So happened to be in our 2-minute drive, you know, but I mean, it's something that I can learn from, you know, as far as throwing the ball away earlier.
Yeah, I was about to say, throw the ball away earlier.
But yeah, it is what it is.
How tough was it to see your teammates continue to go through the season? I mean, you've been the leader of this team
just
for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, how tough was it on you?
It was really tough. I mean, you hope you could be out there. You wish you could be out there to be able to compete and put your team in the best situation possible. But, you know, I think that brought out leadership side, you know, more so for me. Just being able to talk to the guys, you know, Mac Jones, and then, you know, kind of lead the quarterback room as well. And then also, you know, kind of communicating to the receiver group, you know. I mean, it's not easy for them, too, to, you know, to get a switch in quarterback, you know, I mean, towards the ending of the season. You know, but I think the guys fought really hard towards the ending of the season. It wasn't the season that we wanted, you know, as far as the team. But, yeah, I think they did the best that they could, you know, with what they were given. And, you know, that was a rough year for not just me, but for our entire team because we dealt with a lot of injuries, you know, on the defensive side. And then, you know, on the offensive side, we had a couple guys that were banged up as well. So
Nick Saban said that you are arguably the most impactful player he's ever had, and I feel like
big
that
compliment.
Is really high praise.
He's being too nice when he says that. He's being too nice when he says that.
What's your relationship like with him, and how did he really help you learn and evolve and grow?
Yeah, well, you know, I guess
having the mind of a business person, and then also, I mean, just being a person. You know, I think people get this outlook on Coach Saban, you know, as someone who's always hard, you know, someone who's strict, who's mean. You know, that's on the field. That's when the switch is on. Switch comes off literally right off the field. Like, I mean, as much as he yelled at you throughout practice, you know, once you're off the field, I mean, this man will joke with you like so much, like as if he didn't just yell at you 2 minutes ago. You know, so, I mean, he's a really, really personable person, you know, off the field. And, you know, for his staff, his players, I mean, he loves them. I mean, you know, he really admires and he really loves them. He just wants the best for everyone in the organization.
So did that make it difficult for you to make the decision to declare?
Oh, there's no doubt it made it difficult. It was hard.
How close to you was from staying?
I was
Especially
about
after
this
the
close.
injury.
I was
You
about
know?
this close.
Really?
I was really close, you know, but sitting down with my parents, you know, my mom and dad getting guidance, seeing where their heart was with all of this, that's kind of what I kind of went off, you know, as far as making my decision to leave and enter the draft. But, you know, the thing that stuck with me with Coach Saban, you know, was when you make a decision, don't make an emotional one, you know. So if me and you have this thing, we're always going to have it, you know, and don't feel like you need to pressure yourself into, you know, staying because of the relationship that we have. And if you go, we won't have it. No, that's not what it is. So he said, make business decisions. You know, what's going to be best for you and your family. Don't make any emotional decisions. So that's what we did.
That's crazy. A football coach telling his player to make business decisions. That's something that you got to keep in mind as you go into the National Football League. I'm just going to go flat out and ask this one. Okay, if you're 100% healthy, you the best quarterback in this draft?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you that.
That's a good question. You know, I'm not one to talk too much about myself. You know, I'd like, you know, like everyone else to decipher that. But, you know, for me, it's more so when I'm given the opportunity, I'm going to do what I can to put the team in the best, you know, position possible to be successful. And that's really all I can do, you know, is just do my best. But, you know, all these guys coming out as well, really good quarterbacks, really talented. So, you know, what they've done up to this point, you know, I mean, they deserve it, man.
I'll take that as a yes. You think you're the best quarterback.
That's a pretty good answer there. Real quick, in terms of your rehab schedule, how much can you do before the draft? Are you going to be able to participate in the combine?
Yeah, so I'll be participating in the combine, but my main goal is not to win the 40, not to win the bench press, but to win my medical. So I'm going to go over there, you know, looking to win my medical, and then, you know, go in and interview with the teams. And so that's pretty much what I'm going to do. And then, you know, hopefully there's a pro day, you know, down the line, either late March or early April. Yeah.
Okay, so I see you driving around here with Auto Trader. What's up?
Right there. Yeah, so I'm here on behalf of Auto Trader. You know, coming from Hawaii to Alabama, you know, or just entering college, I guess the first thing you think of is, you know, how am I going to get from point A to point B? You know, and so transportation was really important. So me and my family decided to go on Auto Trader, decided to look for a car, and they made car shopping, you know, that much easier for us. And then with the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor, I mean, the prices were outstanding for us, you know, and so they helped us as a family, you know, with just everything. So the entire car process was so easy for us, to where all we had to do was call the dealership, you know, go over there, you know, get things taken care of. And
you got me ready.
And so with my grandparents,
Kelley Blue Book. Everybody uses Kelley Blue Book.
So with my grandparents, you know, with the help of my grandparents, I got my first car. So it was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I got a Jeep.
Jeep. Ain't nothing wrong
I have
with
a
that,
Jeep
man.
too. Yes, I love it. That's awesome. Well, Tua, listen, I feel like after the Super Bowl, it's basically Tua season.
It is. Oh, thank
we
you
got
guys.
the combine and the draft, and we can't wait to follow you along. Best
you
of
guys so
luck,
much.
and
Appreciate it.
good luck with the recovery too.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right, that brings us to Arriving in Style, presented by Genesis. Earlier this week, Genesis revealed their first ever SUV, the GV80, in Miami at a live event that would make Instagrammers everywhere jealous. Genesis also premiered their first ever Super Bowl commercial during the event. It airs this Sunday during the big game's second quarter, introducing the first ever Genesis GV80 to the world in a new era of young luxury along with it. And that was Arriving in Style, presented presented by Genesis. Oh, look, it's a live shot of Sean O'Hara at the domino table. We got more Super Bowl today coming up. Packers running back Aaron Jones will join us. We're back on Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus. 2 days away from Super Bowl 54, Chiefs and 49ers, and someone who experienced that NFC Championship game, but came up just a little bit short, joins our Good Morning Football crew right now. It's Aaron Jones.
He's one of the breakout stars of the 2019 NFL season, including the playoffs. 1,700 yards, 23 touchdowns.
Come again?
We've been saying it all season. It is the best running back that Aaron Rodgers has ever played with and one of the best in the league. It's Aaron Jones. What's up, Showtime? How we feeling?
I'm feeling great, and you?
Yeah. We're great to see you. We got to reconcile something because your numbers were insane. We talked about it all season. You were Mr. Red Zone, Mr. Everything.
23 total touchdowns in the playoffs.
And yet you weren't Mr. Pro Bowl. And I know this cut deep. Where are you now with this ridiculous oversight?
So I was planning to play another game later on, and that didn't happen. So hurts a little bit more. Now not playing in the Pro Bowl and getting that selection, but everything happens for a reason. I'll be right where I'm supposed to be at.
That's a great attitude to have. I know the season didn't end as you guys wanted it to, but the first year with Matt LaFleur has been incredible. What a change for this team. What was the one huge difference that he made for this squad?
I would just say he brought us together as one. Just made us resilient, made us believe in ourselves, not blinking in the face of adversity when we face it. And you see the difference between last year and this year. In the NFL, a lot of games come down to one possession, and it's how you execute in those one-possession games, and I felt like that's something that we did well this year.
Does anybody ever talk about Matt LaFleur grooming his eyebrows?
Great question.
That is a great question. No, they don't. And I've never really paid attention to Coach LaFleur's eyebrows, so that's something I'm going to have to.
Kyle does deep dives on them. I had to get that question.
Did you get them threaded?
It's a great eyebrows.
Get some threaded?
Look at that, man. They're perfectly manicured.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody shows up at the house and takes care of that.
Those are manicured. His wife might take care of them.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Aaron, we know the NFC Championship game didn't go as planned, but you guys have experience against this defense. We're trying to break down this Chiefs-49ers game. 2 times you guys went out there, didn't go great. What makes them so difficult on defense when you're an opposing offense trying to put up points against the 49ers?
I would just say their front four and just the way their whole defense plays, their mentality, they swarm to the ball. You see a lot of energy. You don't see any loafs. You see guys flying around. and they want to be out there. You see them energetic once they're out there making plays. It could be a D lineman making a play, and you see the safety coming down celebrating with them, and it's contagious.
We're at home watching this, everybody, or we're at the stadium, wherever it was. You're on the field. Did you know, like, boom, like, oh my gosh, this team's just a house on fire. Like, how are we going to deal with this? Or did you feel like we could still get back in this thing against that defense?
I felt like we could still get back in it. I felt like we was running the ball well, and it was things that we done to ourselves, turnovers and penalties. So they're a great defense, but it's things that we done to ourselves as well.
Let's talk about the other Aaron Rodgers. Now, we love Aaron. He came on the show last year. He's hilarious, dry sense of humor, but he loves to have a good time. But on the flip side, he can be really demanding. So kind of give us an experience or a look into your relationship. Is there something that jumps out when it comes to Aaron Rodgers on the field or even off of it?
He's just a leader. I mean, I remember my first time running onto the field, and that would probably stick out with me the most. Running onto the field, week 5, hadn't took an offensive snap, third back coming in, and I get on the field, and he looks at me, he's like, hey, you know, I'm one of your biggest fans in this organization.
What?
And I'm like, I haven't even taken an offensive snap. Like, preseason I have, but haven't taken an offensive snap. And for a future Hall of Famer to tell somebody who hasn't stepped on the field that.
What did that do for your confidence?
It did everything. It made me feel like I go out there. I went out there and scored a touchdown, and it was good. It was on Thursday night, and it made me feel on top of the world.
He did that purposely.
Yes, sir.
He knew he needed more out of you.
Yes, sir. He's just a great leader, and I love playing with him.
That's
it
awesome.
Shows. And, Aaron, we also know you love to have a good time, especially when you play the Cowboys and do the deuces, and we laughed our asses off about it, frankly. You're also such a self-starter. You produced a segment for our show, and the segment is called Aaron or Aaron, in which you're going to read facts, and then the 4 of us are going to say, does that fact apply to Aaron Jones or Aaron Rodgers?
We have our surfaces right here.
We got our surfaces right here. They got faces on them. Aaron Jones, start us off with the first Aaron or Aaron.
Okay, Aaron or Aaron game. This Aaron was a high school basketball player and averaged 16.5 points per game as a senior.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know. I'm looking at your frame, point guard, but, you know, you're probably a distributor. Quarterbacks, they get buckets. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going with Rodgers. I'm thinking corner jumper like Drew Gruden right from the foul line. I
went Rodgers, too, from the elbow, and maybe we're underestimating you.
I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I see his proud family there. They're the cutest family I've ever seen, taking photos, videos, all of that. I'm here for this. You win. Aaron Jones.
Oh, 16 a game.
You was getting buckets?
I was getting buckets. Me and my twin brother, we actually played our freshman year in college.
Look at this. Whoa. You guys can give me the answer.
Wait, you played in college, too?
Yes, we played our freshman year in college. So.
Word.
At UTEP.
You above the rim? You dunking?
Oh, yes, sir. Above the rim.
This guy was a point guard at UTEP like Tim Hardaway. That's a really big deal, man.
UTEP two-step. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes,
Come
sir.
on, baby. All right, what's next? Next one.
This Aaron was so under-recruited that he had to attend junior college first before transferring to a bigger program.
Ooh. Okay.
You know what?
I know Rodgers went to junior college.
You shouting out to Butte?
I'm cheating off of Peter.
Yeah.
I'm cheating off of Peter.
I'm going with Peter. Aaron Rodgers. Butte. Are we right?
You guys are right.
Yeah.
I was under-recruited, but Aaron Rodgers, of course, under-recruited Butte College. And then,
all right, we've got like 90 seconds. Let's get through
Okay, this Aaron has a brother who spent time on the Baltimore Ravens roster.
I'm going to go with your bro. Because if he was hooping like you was hooping and playing football, and y'all got a whole family full of athletes, I'm going with bro.
I mean, Rodgers' brother was on The Bachelor. He might as well have been a Raven also.
That's a different roster.
I 1,000% think that this is true, and it was Aaron Jones.
What a family. They dunk and play basketball, and we're doing Ravens. It's got to be Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Shout your brother's name out. What's his name?
My brother's name is Alvin Jones, Jr.
Okay.
Alvin Jones Jr.
Alvin
Okay,
Jones,
AJ.
Okay.
This Aaron's favorite movie is the Marlon Wayans classic, The Sixth Man.
Oh, Dean Harrison? Okay, I'm in.
Your whole family's going.
Aaron Rodgers' favorite movie is probably like Steve Zissou in The Life Aquatic. I'm going to go with you, buddy.
Life Aquatic. I'm going with this, too. I love this movie.
Good Dean Harrison.
Classic.
Tolkien.
Classic.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
You guys haven't seen it?
Yeah!
That's definitely me.
Incredible.
You guys
Hurt you. Hey, when he passed away, it hurt you. Make you cry every time.
Made me cry. Made me think of my brother.
One more.
All right,
like
this
Celtic
Aaron trainer used to take potato chips to his heels to help with his footwork.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Very Rodgers-y.
Well, with the way your
I
feet
think
move.
that I'm going Aaron Jones.
Feels
Aaron
Rodgers-y.
Chip on the feet.
I'm light on my feet, but it's Aaron Rodgers.
I like that.
Wow.
That's what's up.
So basically, this Chicago Bears fan won the Packers.
Great job.
Just
incredible. Aaron Jones, you are the best. You had so many touchdowns this year, and I know you got a big offseason coming ahead with maybe some of this, and we're praying for you and hoping for you.
Well, I would say that works. A little Deion Sanders action from Emmanuel Sanders as he gets off the bus during his week of Super Bowl practice and everything that goes with being a Super Bowl participant.
Yeah, look good, feel good, play
you know
good.
What? Just I don't know. It's missing. Oh, I know what it's missing. Gigantic shoulder pads. That's what it's missing.
And you know what he's hoping? If you ball, you get the call.
Exactly right. Well, that could be in his
Little
future. As a matter of fact,
foreshadowing.
you'll see it right here on NFL. Well, on NFL Network.
Those uniforms
as we
are
are on.
sweet, though, huh?
Yes, most definitely. It's going to be a great Super Bowl matchup. The red jerseys of the Chiefs and the white with the gold pants. I said gold because
You know what's ironic about that is
of the 49ers.
not often do you ever see a wide receiver showing love to a corner.
Right. Exactly right.
Like imagine
well done.
that little battle right there.
So let's go sleepers and players in the game that you can envision making a difference that maybe not everybody is thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about the 49ers pass rush, and Nick Bosa comes to mind, Dee Ford comes to mind, but there's a third member of this gold rush, and his name's Eric Armstead. And surprisingly enough, he actually led the 49ers in sacks this season. And it just seems like when you turn on the film of the 49ers defense, and I pulled up earlier this week all their sacks from the season, this guy just keeps showing up. And there were times where he should have had a sack, and he missed the quarterback or didn't finish it, and Bosa ended up getting the sack, or Dee Ford got the sack. But it was caused by Eric Armstead, and he's been really disruptive for them. Run game, there you see right there. So it's not just in the passing game, but here you see him prying open Brandon Scherff right there like a can of soup right there. He's been so good with his hands. His hands are inside every single time on a lot of these quarterback hits and quarterback pass rushers. And he has this power right here to just use that inside hand and pry the guard open. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, the right guard for the Kansas City Chiefs, he's going to have a big day, and he's going to have a big challenge. He's going to have to wear the hard hat because Eric Armstead has been one of the most dominating defensive players on that defense, and nobody's really talking about him.
I'm going to go, I'll stay with the 49ers, and I'll go with just a level back on that defense because we've talked about what the 49ers want to do, what Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh want to do, and get home in 4. But if you watch the 49ers throughout the course of the season, it's when they bring that fifth man up, what they're able to do. And that fifth man's Fred Warner. And I bring up Fred Warner as a sleeper not only because of his 100-plus tackles, I think 118 on the season, had 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. But I think it's also because...
How about that punch?
How about that? Exactly. The strip led to the strip sack of Rodgers. But he's got a shot maybe if they're going to go to man to run with Kelsey. He's got that sort of athleticism. Will it be easy? No. But if they can afford to put a linebacker on Travis Kelsey and allow all that speed out there, Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, and Tyreek Hill to be chased by that nickelback and corners and safeties, that's such a big benefit when they have a chance to do that. But, you know, we'll see. Pat Mahomes is so good at getting that ball out and extending plays, but Warner might end up being that sleeper that can really change that defense if he's able to do that with Kelsey.
Yeah, Fred Warner was one of the best cover linebackers this season, and so many times he showed closing speed to break on footballs. I mean, he had a bunch of pass breakups. And as a linebacker playing that zone defense, that's crucial. Right. So he's hoping that he's right said Fred at the end of it, and he's too sexy for his shirt.
One more segment. One. Actually, oh no, it's 2 more. When we return. Oh, this is good. Drew Brees going to join Super Bowl today, presented by Lexus. 2-6. Super Bowl today, presented by Lexus Hard Rock Stadium. It is Super Bowl 54, just over 48 hours away. Chiefs and 49ers. And it is the 100th season of the NFL, and it's time now for 100 Years of Greatness, presented by Verizon Fios.
3rd down and 5 coming up for the Colts.
Manning in the shotgun, puts Collie in motion, looks in his direction. It's picked off! It's picked off! It's Tracy Porter again! He's running free! He's going to go all the way! Handout stretch! It is a Saint touchdown! 70 yards on the return! 70 yards on the return by Porter! He did it to Favre, and now he's done it to Manning! Get ready to party with the Lombardi, New Orleans!
It's already started. I promise you, my friend. Oh.
The miracle in Miami has happened. The Saints have won the Super Bowl.
And that was 100 Years of Greatness, presented by Verizon Fios. So let's get to it. Drew Brees, Super Bowl champion, did it there in 2009 against the Colts, got his Super Bowl victory, and right now he joins Super Bowl today.
MJ Acosta from Radio Row here, Super Bowl Live Week with a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to do so anyway. Drew Brees, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, what a season this was for you. Just a roller coaster of emotions, I'm sure. But in the end, 27 passing touchdowns, just under 3,000 passing yards. What was your reflection on that once it was all said and done?
Well, you go. It's hard to go 13-3, right? And 2 seasons in a row, which I think it says a lot about our team, and especially overcoming some of the adversity that we've had to overcome over the last few years. And I think this year was really an interesting year in that, from an injury perspective, I missed 5 weeks with the thumb. Right. We had a lot of guys miss time throughout the season, and yet everybody's stepping up and filling a role and doing a great job. Teddy Bridgewater stepping in, winning 5 games for us during that stretch. Everybody just coming together. I mean, we had such a great locker room. Loved getting up, going to work every day, and playing for those guys. And I think that showed. I mean, we had a ton of fun. We won a lot of big games. Unfortunately, the season ended a little bit sooner than we wanted to, but obviously 2 great teams playing in this Super Bowl, 2 teams that deserve to be here.
When you think back on that injury, do you reflect and sort of think of the overall kind of durability and what you've gone through over the last 19 seasons and what it means for you as a man and as a human to kind of go through that? Yeah.
I mean, listen, I pride myself on toughness and durability, and this is a tough sport. Mm-hmm. And some injuries are out of your control, but whatever is within your control, I'm going to try to be the very best that I can be at that, from a training perspective and diet and sleep habit and everything, especially at this stage of my career. I'm not getting any younger. I tell myself I am, right? The age keeps going up. I tell myself I'm getting younger.
You're only as young as you feel,
yeah,
right?
but bottom line is you got to work harder. You got to work harder to maintain and to continue to improve and continue to take care of your body. And listen, I take pride in being available for my team, and so to miss that time, especially for something like a thumb, where the rest of your body feels good. It's not like.
Is that frustrating?
But you need the thumb to grip the ball, right? And so tear a ligament, have the surgery. It's cast up for a little bit, but then you just rehab it. And I don't know, it was frustrating, because I'm kind of an antsy dude. Like, I'm on the sideline, I'm sitting there just like moving the thumb.
You're like, I think it's okay.
I gotta get out there, It just doesn't feel right. But listen, I think it was a benefit for me because it's 5 weeks of not getting hit, right? And then obviously the team was playing great. So listen, everything happens for a reason. So I felt like I came back stronger.
You've said you're going to take some time to just really think about everything as an overall landscape of not just your career and your life and whether or not you will continue to play. What are some of those factors that you'll take into consideration in the longevity of your career and how much more you want to play?
Yeah. Well, Listen, there's definitely a process that takes place when you think about this. It's not like you just wake up one day and it's like, I'm going to retire. First and foremost, it's the time that I commit to playing the game of football. I mean, maybe people don't realize just all that goes into that, just mentally, emotionally, psychologically, the way that you prepare for a season and then go through training camp and go through the season, and the time away from my family, then just the mental aspect of what goes into and the stress that is involved there. So, listen, when I walk away, I don't want it to be because I can't play the game anymore, because there's 32 teams saying, all right, see you later. I want it to be on my own terms, and I want it to be because I just want to spend more time with my family. I'm ready for the next chapter, and you know, when that time comes, you know,
then you'll know.
I'll know, you know. But I also recognize that, hey, when the season ends, you just take some time and decompress, and then, you know, just kind of go through that process the right way.
Feng shui your life, reset, get it together. I understand.
Yeah.
Now, you've seen pretty much everything, including a Super Bowl in your career. What is your take on these two quarterbacks, on Jimmy Garoppolo and Patrick Mahomes, as they get ready for this, the biggest game of their lives?
Yeah. Listen, two young players, you know. Patrick Mahomes has been a starter now for 2 years. I think Garoppolo for 3, but he missed most of last season because of injuries, so pretty much 2, right? 2, I think, different styles of quarterback, you know, obviously, and 2 different teams. You know, I mean, I think those offenses, you know, kind of rely on different things to win. I think I'm really impressed with both guys and the way that they've approached the season. You know, I think Jimmy Garoppolo has done a great job. Now, he's got a great team around him. They got a great run game, and they got weapons and all that stuff. But, man, Jimmy's made plays. He's made plays, and so he's helped get him here. Mahomes is like a human highlight reel. You know, I mean, it's you see a lot of the things he does, and there's so much improvisation, but he also can be a rhythm and pocket passer when the opportunity presents itself. So really versatile. I wouldn't even say like a gunslinger mentality, because he takes really good care of the football. Like, he makes good decisions. You know, it's not just I'm just throwing it in these crazy windows and doing. No, like, if it's there in rhythm, I'm gonna make the throw. But otherwise, I'm gonna get outside the pocket and I'm gonna make something good's gonna happen. You know, I'm gonna avoid a bad play. So I'm really impressed with both these guys, but I think they play the game a different way.
And they're both still poised, too, with all of this, which has been really
being
impressive
young players,
as well. Now, obviously, you talk about health and fitness. When I was in San Diego, I used to run into your boy Todd Durkin all the time, and he would show us these crazy kind of physical techniques he would use with a deck of cards. It's insane. What goes into that type of training? You talk about the mental aspect. I feel that's all tied in as much as the physical as well.
Yeah, so I've been training with Todd Durkin in San Diego for what? 17 years.
Wow. You go way back.
He's one of my great mentors, and a guy that I seek out every offseason and work with, and know that he's going to have some new stuff for me, some good stuff. I also know that when I go into his gym, I better have my mind right.
Ready to go.
Because we are about to work. We're about to get it on. But he's the best. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. It's fun when we have guys there to train with. Darren Sproles was my workout partner forever.
I love it.
Yeah, we get a bunch of guys back there, you know, now. But it's a lot of fun. I'm always looking forward to what he has in store for me.
It's a different level, too. But when you're going to work out like that, you have to feel right. You have to feed your body. So you've had this long-standing relationship, really, with Smoothie King.
Yeah.
And I love that. You told me your favorite flavor was coffee high-protein almond mocha.
That's right.
It sounds like something I would put in my Instagram bio to describe myself, quite frankly. But it's such a great flavor. Why is it that you love Smoothie King so much? And talk a little about your partnership with them.
Yeah, they've been a great partner. They support everything we're doing with youth sports, also our foundation. It's a great part of my routine, you know, during the season and during the off season. So many great health, wellness, you know, fitness blends, no matter what your goals are. And a fun place to take the kids. My kids are always asking to go to Smoothie King, so something there for the whole family.
And they can make these like kind of crazy concoctions. Wait, which ones do your kids like?
So, well, it's usually we all kind of get the strawberry immune builders.
Yeah, well, I mean, valid,
but when this morning when I got off the red-eye flight, it was the high-protein coffee almond mocha for sure.
I mean, that sounds on brand for what we need to be drinking throughout the Super Bowl, just to make it through this week alone.
Right.
Drew, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're so busy. We appreciate your time as always. And now I'm hungry, so we got to go get some food.
Absolutely.
Well, Joe Montana weighing in. his prediction, 35-28. My team, reminding everybody those 2 seasons he spent in Kansas City.
Speaking of smoothies, good job, Joe. That's pretty smooth of you.
That is just terrible. It's not even punny. It's just...
Didn't go down very well, huh?
Super Bowl today presented by... Now, that was good. Presented by Lexus. Whether or not that was intentional or not, that was good. It was intentional.
Feels so good.
Yeah.
As soon as it hits your lips.
Martha Stewart will join us next, and we'll wrap it up with a bold prediction. Continues to be a perfect day in the greater Miami area as we welcome you back to Super Bowl today, presented by Lexus, and we got ourselves a superstar in the world of entertainment. Martha Stewart sitting down with the Tomahawk crew.
Joe Thomas, Andrew Hawkins, now joined by the Martha, the myth, the legend, Martha Stewart, joining us here on set. Martha, welcome.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Absolutely, the excitement of Super Bowl. Now, you were here with Tostitos. What is going on with Tostitos?
I am. Well, Snoop and I were asked to do the introduction to the new Tostitos chip and the avocado salsa. And you're going to love this snack food. This is really great. Snoop doesn't like avocados so much, but he actually, I think he likes other kinds of green.
Yes, I've heard.
But yeah, so but he did pretty well. He did pretty well, and it's a very funny commercial. So
I can't wait.
So
we're
who
having
came
fun.
up with the recipe? Was it you or Snoop? Because you said Snoop doesn't really like
we might need
avocados,
to
but he
put
likes
some
recipes.
disclaimers.
Snoop would do better coming up with recipes for the chip.
The chip, he's more of a munchy guy,
Yeah,
from what
he's
I
a
understand.
munchies, right.
All right, so my co-host here, Joe, he's known as an excellent cook in NFL circles.
By NFL standards.
By
not
NFL
exactly
standards.
the same
Well,
circle.
I would think with all the eating that goes
We do a
on
lot of eating.
Super
Yes,
Bowl
he
weekend.
does a lot of that.
Do you know that I was told today an astonishing fact: 500 million pounds of snack food
Wow.
are produced just by PepsiCo.
Well, I'm only eating half of that.
Yeah.
But the other half
500
is eaten
million.
by those fans out there of Tostitos.
I know, it's incredible. So
That is incredible.
So I like Tostitos with all kinds of things like caviar and sour cream.
Wow, that's high class. That's Tomahawk show level right there. When you're eating caviar with your Tostitos chips
and avocado salsa, yum.
What are your other favorite Super Bowl game day snack foods?
Well, we have 5 really incredible wings recipes at Martha Stewart, and so we make all 5. and big bowls of them because they go real fast.
I would imagine a
Yeah.
Martha Stewart wing set goes pretty
and
fast.
then I like ribs too, but we make really delicate little ribs. We have to find the little pigs and little ribs.
So you're talking about cooking meat.
Sounds really good.
Joe once famously finished off a tomahawk steak with a flamethrower.
Wow.
So what are your thoughts about that unconventional way of finishing a nice piece of meat?
What was the fuel?
So it was a propane fuel.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't.
You don't do propane grills?
No, I have wood grills, not even charcoal. I do wood that I really cook all the way down to the red hot coals. I'm a purist.
You're a purist.
I am.
I'm not. I just like meat and protein.
No,
and,
you would
and
like my
as many
tomahawk.
calories as
You would like
possible.
my tomahawk.
What's your
steak.
tomahawk steak recipe?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's basically it's really simple. Get the best tomahawk and salt and pepper it. Lots of black pepper, and then slowly cook it over those embers, slowly, and caramelize the outside. Rare on the inside. Like rare?
Yeah.
Yeah, rare on the inside, and then I slice it. Nice.
Oh, a nice thin one.
Yeah.
So I'm a big sous vide person. I know a lot of my
really?
chef friends, they make fun of me because it's kind of cheating, but I love doing my tomahawk a little warmer, like 140, 145. Kind of
sous vide?
In the sous vide, because
Really?
it renders those
And
fats
then-
for
and
about
then you-
6-8
and then you
hours.
use the propane
then I
torch?
finish it with the torch, or you could finish it on your wood
showy,
grill.
so showy.
I'm wondering if I
Goodness,
could
man.
come on your show and show you the right way to do a tomahawk.
Yes, that would be okay. I would go for that. But where'd you get a sous vide that's big enough for a tomahawk?
So I bought a giant bin on like Amazon.com or something like that, and a nice stick. I put it right in there, and then it heats the water
What
bath.
temperature? What
So
temperature?
I was saying with my tomahawk steak, I like about a 145. So it's a
Okay.
little hotter than
How
you do
long
like
does that
a fillet.
take?
6 to 8 hours, because I really
Yeah.
like to make sure it's tender.
Yeah.
Then I'll throw it back in the fridge, kind of harden it up before
So
I
he
finish
seems
it.
to know what he's talking about.
I don't really know a whole lot
He's
except for
showy,
what
though.
I've read
I
on
knew it. I knew
MarthaStewart.com.
coming into this day that Joe was going to embarrass me in front of Martha Stewart, and here we are. So one of my favorite celebrity friendships is you and Snoop Dogg, as two guys who are unconventional friendship ourselves.
I hated
How did that
him the
come
first
about?
time I met Andrew.
Oh well, we just sort of liked each other. He came on my show a few times and made sort of green food. He did some brownies and
Yeah.
he did some other things, and green potatoes, and so we kind of hit it off. And then we did the Bieber roast, and that was the cement in the relationship.
Yeah.
So we became really close friends after 4 hours of shared smoke, and then somebody saw that and thought there was some chemistry there, and of course there was,
and
and
of course.
we've had a very nice show. We're on our 3rd season of Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party with all those celebrities.
I'm sure the invite's in the mail.
Yeah,
all
it's-
those
we're
great.
coming.
Yeah, you're going to come next.
Yeah,
next
we'll be there next
season.
year.
You
so
bet.
Here's a great question. Brad Pitt was recently seen at an Oscar party wearing a name tag with Brad Pitt on it. At your dinner parties, at your Snoop and Martha dinner parties, do you make everybody wear name tags?
Well, once I had a party in Westport, Connecticut, when Robert Redford and Paul Newman lived there. Remember those guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they were handed name tags. Robert put on Paul's, and Paul put on Robert's.
Boys being boys.
No, that's kind of silly. You know, Brad Pitt. Yeah, like he needs a name tag.
Is there any person, because you know everybody and everybody knows you, is there any person that would make you starstruck? Because I would imagine they would have to come from like the
Brad
present
Pitt.
company
Brad
excluded.
Pitt.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Oh, I find him very attractive.
Yep,
So do I.
That makes 3 of us. That makes 3 of us. All right, so my final question here. You told us before we got on air, you've been to 20 Super Bowls?
At least, maybe 25.
What has been your favorite city during that time?
Well, I really do like Florida because it's warm. I don't like sitting in the cold northeast, but
no Cleveland Super Bowl for you.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's a little cold. But I think Miami's done really well. Tampa, we had a really great Super Bowl in Tampa. I like Phoenix too. That's always fun to go to.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've been around
Warm weather.
at these
All right.
Super Bowls.
Who do you have winning?
I think San Francisco
You think
has
San
to win.
Francisco?
But I'm
All
going to
right.
hedge the bet. I'm going to bet on Kansas City, and we're going to see who wins.
All right,
and
well-
I'll give him the winnings.
Thank you for joining us, Martha. It has been a pleasure.
Thank
Stay
you.
tuned for more live coverage from the Tomahawk crew at Radio Row in South Beach.
Kind of cool to have Martha Stewart around on Super Bowl today. That brings us to Bold Predictions presented by, what's the name of their show again?
Man, I'm trying to think. Is it like a hatchet?
I don't remember.
Or is it like a...
Just, I don't know, I'm spacing.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think, and it's also the name of
Yeah.
a kind of steak, too,
Something,
I think. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Something Black Hawk?
But yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Black Hawk Show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not right. Bold predictions. Let's go. What do you got? Something for as we bid farewell, a bold
Yeah.
prediction for Super Bowl 54.
Okay, something that's never happened before in Super Bowl history. I've got 4 players throwing touchdown passes, 4 different players.
Okay,
so
that's
not just
bold.
Mahomes
It's
and
actually
Garoppolo.
absurd.
We're going to see 2 other players besides the quarterbacks throw touchdown passes. Never happened before. Of course, it did happen earlier this year. This is Week 14. Emmanuel Sanders throwing this touchdown pass up to Raheem Mostert. So we know the 49ers have it in their playbook. And for the Chiefs, look, we all remember Philly Special, right? Or that
Sure.
was Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is an Andy Reid protege. So we know that the
Okay.
Kansas City Chiefs probably have some form. Here's the Philly Special right here. Nick Foles and Trey Burton
there
right
we
here
go.
throwing it to Big Nick. So guess what? Don't be surprised if you see Mahomes out as a receiver at some point. I think Kelsey could throw the ball, Tyreek Hill. You know, I'm pretty sure the Cheetah can
Yeah,
spin
he's got a
it.
couple, I think.
He can spin it.
He's thrown it a handful of times. Okay, that's bold. Because you're a Super Bowl champion on the field and someone who provides tremendous analysis, I'm not going to try to take that on for bold predictions. But what I will take on, you just heard Martha Stewart talking about all that food. So I got
Yeah.
food on my brain now.
A lot of green on there, too?
A lot of green.
Yeah.
She repeatedly wanted to make sure we understood where she was coming from and her double entendre. How about Andy Reid and what he said about how he celebrated the AFC Championship? Do you remember? He said,
I love Big Red. Of course I know.
I ate a cheeseburger and I went to bed.
Yeah.
So
Now, let's be honest. Do you really think you only ate one?
Oh, he ate 2
Yeah,
for sure.
no, he
Now,
definitely was on the value meal.
the Super Bowl is all about tying things together, things that are part of our everyday lives. And if cheeseburgers are part of Andy Reid's everyday life, you know someone's going to have a cheeseburger there ready and waiting. Let somebody tell you, let the MVP tell you they're going to Disneyland, drive away in a nice Lexus. But you know what? Andy Reid, I think, is going to have a sweet, succulent burger right there waiting for him. Before
I
that
love
presentation, they set up the stage. Wouldn't it be great just to see him take a big bite? Whatever your favorite. You know what? We had DeAndre Hopkins on a little bit earlier talking about Carl's Jr., a nice, famous star.
Nice plug.
Yeah, you know, whatever. One of those things. That's what I'm
I figured
saying.
you were an Andy Reid fan when
I
I saw
am.
the shirt today.
Yes,
So you're
big
all
Andy
in
Reid fan.
on Big Red.
I am.
I would pay money to have a cheeseburger right at the end of the Super Bowl.
Well, so
too.
you know the feeling. Wouldn't it be great? You're celebrating, and all of a sudden someone
starving.
hands you a juicy
I
cheeseburger.
mean, pregame meal for the Super Bowl is like, you know, probably 3
Right.
o'clock Eastern. So
See,
by the
look at
time that game is over with, you haven't
Come
eaten
on.
for 8 hours.
You're a Super Bowl champ. Make it happen. Get together, figure it out, get down into Miami, and get out there at the stadium and
I'm sure
figure
there's
out
a
how you get a
sponsor
burger.
that would
It's
love
gotta
to be all over that.
Oh, you know what? Hard Rock. Yeah, Hard Rock Cafe. There you go. A little Hard Rock burger.
Just throw some
little,
bacon on it.
Exactly, some bacon. All right. That's that. That was Bold Predictions presented by Lexus. And a big thank you to all of you that tuned in to Super Bowl today all week long from Miami. Very excited about the contest. Chiefs versus 49ers. We've made our predictions, sleepers, X factors, most important players on offense, defense, and we cannot tell you how much we appreciate all of you for tuning in. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Time
on
now to
Sunday.
put your money where your mouth is. Money.
Or a cheeseburger where my mouth
That
is.
too.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. Who do you like? Okay, fine, be that way.
I like the halftime show.
Thanks for watching. Yeah, tune in to NFL Network. I'll be hosting it. Thanks, Sean.